The galaxy believed it had humanity pinned down, a chaotic species trapped on a rock, barely crawling out of its own mess. The Empire, cloaked in cold steel and hollow pride, marched confidently through the stars. Their fleets were majestic, their technology flawless, their rules ironclad. To them, humans were a primitive afterthought, like ants squabbling over crumbs at a banquet. An amusing sideshow in an otherwise orderly universe. Grand Commander Vrex swiped at the holographic display lazily, his many eyes narrowing in disdain. Humans, he hissed, are a biological joke. Their weapons are laughable, their tactics primitive. Their leaders bicker over nonsense. What threat could they possibly pose to the Empire's might? His officers nodded in robotic agreement, their expressions as blank as their training manuals. The Empire was a perfect machine, ruthless, disciplined, unyielding. Nothing could shake their confidence. Meanwhile, far from the glittering throne rooms and endless war councils, humanity's war room looked more like a cluttered basement than a command center. Admiral Steele sat slouched in a cracked leather chair, surrounded by screens flickering with half-broken code and hastily scribbled notes. Empty coffee mugs towered like a caffeine monument to sleepless nights. His team was a mix of misfits, outcasts, and geniuses who somehow made order out of chaos. Steele cracked a grin. "They think we're just a bunch of backward cave dwellers fiddling with rocks and fire," he said, voice dripping with amusement. "That's their first mistake." He leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "We're not going to fight their way. We're going to fight our way." The Empire's arrogance was staggering, but so was their mistake. They expected humans to play by the rules of galactic warfare, big ships, big guns, predictable strategies. What they didn't expect was humanity's hallmark, unpredictable, absurd, and wildly creative chaos. Steele's plan wasn't about superior firepower or overwhelming numbers. It was about throwing a wrench into the Empire's well-oiled machine with ideas so bizarre they could only come from humans. Forget the shiny star destroyers. We're going to use distraction, misinformation, and the most ridiculous tactics they've ever seen. He tossed a rubber chicken onto the table, the room erupting in laughter. If they send a fleet, we'll send a symphony of madness. The Empire's spies had been monitoring human broadcasts, expecting fear, panic, maybe surrender. Instead, they intercepted speeches filled with memes, jokes, and viral challenges. One message simply read, "Prepare to get pranked, space overlords." The aliens didn't understand humor, and that was humanity's secret weapon. Grand Commander Vrex fumed as reports flooded in. Human ships appeared out of nowhere, then vanished like ghosts. Entire fleets got tangled chasing phantom signals. Their own advanced AI systems crashed from deliberately confusing data streams. The Empire's rigid hierarchy began to crack under the weight of unpredictable human antics. Steele's team hacked alien communications with bizarre broadcasts, cats dancing in zero gravity, robotic stand-up comedians roasting the Empire's generals, and fake news about human weaponized rubber ducks. The Empire's command center turned from a place of order into one of frantic confusion. Alien leaders tried to maintain composure, but their formal language started slipping. They accused each other of incompetence in increasingly colorful terms. One high-ranking official shouted, "This is an outrage. Our dignified fleet is being toyed with by clowns." Another whispered in disbelief, "Have we underestimated a species capable of coordinated chaos?" The Empire's arrogance was slowly dissolving into frustration. They sent their best assassins, their deadliest weapons, and their most terrifying warships. Each time, humans countered with something no one expected, like deploying giant holograms of rubber chickens above battlefields or hacking enemy drones to perform synchronized dances. Back in the human war room, Steele watched the chaos unfold with a wicked smile. "Let them laugh," he said. "We'll turn their confidence into confusion, their order into disorder. And when they think it's over, that's when we strike." He tapped a red button on his console. "Send the message." Across the stars, the Empire intercepted a broadcast that made every official stop dead in their tracks. A simple, bold statement scrolled across every screen in their language: "Talks have collapsed. Humanity leaves." Prepare to be pranked. The galaxy held its breath. The Empire, stunned by the sheer absurdity, realized this was no ordinary war. This was a fight against a species that wielded chaos like a weapon and humor like a shield. Humanity wasn't begging for peace or surrender. They were here to rewrite the rules. And so, with a wink and a laugh, humanity declared war, not with overwhelming force, but with a reckless, unstoppable spirit that no empire had ever faced. The moment the Empire's warships blinked into human space, chaos ignited like a supernova at a clown convention. No elegant battle formation, no precise laser barrages. Instead, entire squadrons found themselves tangled in holographic rubber duck clouds, and not the harmless bath kind. These were weaponized memes, projected by scrappy human hackers who hacked the alien ship's sensors to overload with absurdity. The aliens froze, scanning their instruments as quacking sounds filled their cockpits. Commander Vrex barked orders, but his voice cracked. Identify source of the noise. Is this some kind of weapon? One officer, pale in translucent scales, muttered, I do not comprehend how a quacking sound can disable navigation systems. Meanwhile, human fighters swooped past, trailing behind them flares shaped like giant, grinning emojis. Their ships buzzed with overclocked engines, moving unpredictably, zigzagging like caffeinated squirrels. The Empire's drones chased shadows and holograms, crashing spectacularly into each other as humans unleashed wave after wave of smoke screens shaped like giant pizzas. On board the flagship, Vrex slammed his clawed fist against the console. This is not a war. It is a circus. How do they command such madness? He glared at his advisors, who only shrugged in exasperation. One muttered, perhaps they possess a form of insanity we cannot simulate. We should retreat and regroup. But retreat was impossible. Human cyber warfare had already crippled the Empire's communication lines with pranks so clever they'd be the stuff of legend, or nightmares. Entire fleets received false orders to dance like no one is watching, triggering robotic movements that look suspiciously like the infamous floss dance. Alien diplomats, desperate for solutions, tried to understand this new enemy. They are unpredictable, one whispered to another. Their tactics border on madness, but madness that works. Another added, it is as if their weapon is confusion itself. On the battlefield, humans deployed what they called the meme barrage, an arsenal of digital absurdity that hacked enemy systems while making them display ridiculous images and slogans. Giant holograms of dancing cats invaded enemy view screens. Commanders found their tactical maps replaced with photos of baby goats wearing sunglasses. The Empire's soldiers were baffled, their once pristine discipline dissolving into baffled chuckles and frantic commands. Amid the confusion, human ships exploited the chaos to strike with precision. Not with overwhelming force, but with surgical, unexpected attacks. One unit, known only as Steve's Squad, specialized in rapid hit-and-run maneuvers involving launching decoys shaped like whoopee cushions. Each impact was followed by a perfect, loud fart noise that echoed mockingly through alien speakers. Vrex's officers frantically debated how to respond. We cannot allow this disrespect, shouted one. Yet every time we attempt retaliation, their ships vanish and reappear behind us. Another suggested deploying an experimental neural control beam but hesitated, fearing their own soldiers might get caught in the ensuing pandemonium. The humans, meanwhile, reveled in their success. Steele laughed through comms, we're not just fighting a war. We're a cosmic prank show, and the ratings are through the roof. The Empire's elite tried to regain composure. Their most fearsome warship, the Dread Sovereign, launched a barrage of plasma torpedoes. But human hackers turned the ship's targeting system into a giant digital disco ball, redirecting the plasma into space and creating a spectacular light show that stunned both sides. Vrex growled, this is a strategic nightmare. Our technology is turned against us with childish glee. Alien morale plummeted in unexpected ways. Some high-ranking officials began issuing increasingly ridiculous commands, such as deploy the tickle bots, or initiate reverse gravity dance. The Empire's command structure was breaking apart under the weight of ludicrous confusion. In an emergency session, the Empire's Council of Elders debated the growing threat. "We face a species that weaponizes chaos and humor," one elder admitted, "something our ancient texts never prepare us for." Elsewhere, human tactics grew even stranger. Pilots began sending fake surrender signals consisting entirely of mean gifs and pun-filled messages. When alien ships approached to investigate, they were met with surprise attacks launched from invisible drones disguised as floating rubber chickens. One human commander broadcast live from his ship, waving a giant foam finger that read, #1 galactic pranks. The Empire intercepted the feed, and for once, the solemn officers shared a moment of stunned silence before erupting into frustrated shouting. The humans even hacked the Empire's recruitment ads, replacing them with infomercials about how to survive a prank apocalypse and top 10 alien fails caught on camera. This sowed discord among alien troops, many of whom began doubting their own commanders. The galaxy's largest war had morphed into a surreal dance of trickery and laughter, but with deadly consequences. Every failed alien attack cost lives, every confused commander was one step closer to collapse. Steele's voice echoed through human networks, "When they think they have us figured out, we'll shift gears. This is far from over, it's just getting started." And as the Empire's grand fleet spiraled deeper into chaos, one undeniable truth emerged: the humans weren't just fighting for survival. They were rewriting what it meant to be dangerous. Because when you weaponize absurdity, nobody knows where the next punchline, or the next strike, will come from. Just when the Empire thought it had weathered the storm of memes and madness, humanity unveiled its next move, a weapon so bizarre it broke every rule of galactic warfare. They called it the Resonator. No one knew exactly how it worked, not even Steele's closest advisors. But when activated, it turned the Empire's own tech into a symphony of chaos. The first test came without warning. Mid-battle, a piercing hum filled the void, shaking ships to their cores. Suddenly, every Empire vessel's communication systems flooded with thousands of simultaneous signals, ranging from children's cartoons to ancient human internet rants. Screens flashed with viral cat videos, motivational speeches by retired TV hosts, and oddly, endless loops of "never gonna give you up." Alien commanders screamed into static, "Our systems are compromised. We cannot control anything." Fleets lost cohesion as their sensors turned into a kaleidoscope of nonsense. Tactical data melted into nonsense riddles. The Dread Sovereign's mighty cannons fired randomly, some shooting their own shields. Pilots swerved to avoid invisible rubber ducks suddenly materializing inside cockpits. Steele's voice came over human channels, calm and mocking, "Welcome to the Resonator effect, where your tech stops working and your dignity takes a vacation." The Empire's leadership was visibly unraveling. Emperor Zaltor, once a figure of unshakable authority, paced furiously in his crystal chamber, clawed hands pulling at his ceremonial robes. "This is an affront. A mockery of our power. Who dares wield such insanity?" His advisors could only stare, helpless. One whispered, "It is humanity's madness. Their weapon is not force. It's mind games." Across the galaxy, panic set in a new flavor. Entire fleets dropped out of formation, drifting helplessly as the Resonator's frequencies twisted their instruments. Alien soldiers began reporting hallucinations, visions of human sitcoms, cosmic slapstick, and inexplicable laughter echoing through their helmets. The Empire scrambled to build countermeasures, deploying elite teams to hunt down human hackers and disable the Resonator's source. But every attempt was met with traps so absurd they bordered on performance art. One ambush ended with the alien soldiers slipping on holographic banana peels projected into corridors. In the background, Steele's team worked feverishly to upgrade the Resonator, tuning it like a cosmic DJ spinning chaos into order. They mixed in ancient human cultural artifacts, meme libraries, viral videos, and prank histories, turning the weapon into an unpredictable, evolving force of tactical absurdity. The Empire's generals, once confident and cold, grew twitchy and erratic. Communications deteriorated into gibberish punctuated by fits of laughter or nonsensical commands. One senior commander ordered his fleet to launch the Cosmic Pie Assault. A phrase no one understood but which caused widespread confusion and unintended self-damage. Even Emperor Zaltor's most trusted advisors began to doubt their own minds. Perhaps, one confessed in a rare moment of vulnerability, our enemy does not fight with steel, but with a weapon older than war, madness itself. The Galactic Council convened in emergency, broadcasting in every language their collective dread. We face an enemy that breaks our minds and turns our strength against us, one voice warned. If the resonator is not stopped, the Empire will collapse from within. But humanity was just warming up. Steele announced the psychological strategy behind the resonator, not just to disrupt but to dominate the Empire's will. We're not here to destroy their ships, he explained to his crew. We're here to destroy their confidence. To make their pride a punchline. When their leaders doubt themselves, their armies crumble. The human broadcast sent waves of surreal propaganda across enemy lines, fake interviews with alien generals describing their greatest embarrassment moments, leaked footage of the Empire's top officials slipping on digital banana skins, and even space TikTok challenges mocking their rituals. Alien troops began defecting or refusing orders, afraid to become the next cosmic joke. Some whispered rumors spread that the Empire's own internal security was cracking, sabotaged by laughter and mockery. On Earth, the public watched with amazement as their chaotic tactics rewrote the history books. Schoolchildren sent messages of encouragement to the front lines, meme creators became wartime heroes, the internet buzzed with new pranks and jokes designed to keep the resonator's effects fresh and devastating. The galactic stakes could not be higher. If the Empire fell, it would not just be a loss of territory but a collapse of the ancient order. Civilization itself might fracture. New powers would rise. The humans, underestimated again, and then almost laughed out of existence, were on the verge of toppling a cosmic titan with nothing but chaos and wit. And so the stage was set, the Empire, broken and bewildered, versus a human race armed with absurdity and relentless confidence. The final showdown loomed, one where brains, memes, and madness would decide the fate of the stars. The galaxy held its breath as the final act unfolded, a battle not of sheer force, but of pure, unfiltered absurdity. The Empire's remaining fleet, disoriented and on the edge of collapse, faced a new human gambit, Operation Cosmic Prankstorm. Human ships, cloaked in holograms of giant rubber chickens and spinning disco balls, advanced in unpredictable patterns that made the Empire's scanners spin into error loops. They launched waves of joke missiles, harmless drones that played endless loops of dad jokes and awkward laughter at close range, shattering alien morale faster than any plasma blast. Alien commanders shouted into comms, their voices cracking. What is this, madness? Our shields are failing, not from damage, but from embarrassment. One officer screamed, we are being defeated by jokes. Retreat is impossible, our honor is shattered. Meanwhile, human hackers infiltrated the Empire's central AI, replacing battle protocols with viral internet challenges. Entire warships stopped mid-battle, performing synchronized dances broadcast galaxy-wide. The Empire's soldiers caught on camera were compelled to imitate silly human gestures, their dignity dissolving like space dust. On board the Dread Sovereign, the Empire's pride, chaos reigned. Emperor Zaltor, visibly rattled, watched as his fleet broadcasted embarrassing bloopers of his most solemn speeches. His command center's screens showed edited videos of him slipping on digital banana peels and tripping over ceremonial ropes. With a frustrated roar, Zaltor banged his clawed fists on the console. This farce ends now. Deploy the ultimate weapon, the Humiliator. But even the terrifying device couldn't withstand the resonator's influence. It backfired spectacularly, turning its own beam into a cosmic spotlight, illuminating the Empire's ships in glowing pink and purple hues. Human Admiral Steele's voice echoed through the galaxy, calm and victorious. You wanted a war? We gave you a show. You thought you could break us, but you broke yourselves, one joke at a time. The Empire, once unassailable, was now a scattered mess of retreating ships, confused commanders, and shattered pride. The grand fleets that had once ruled countless star systems fled under a barrage of harmless but humiliating attacks. In a final, legendary move, humans hacked the Empire's broadcast channels to air a cheeky message from Steel himself, delivered with a smirk, "Dear Empire, thanks for the dance." Remember, never underestimate a species that laughs in the face of doom. We didn't just win, we memed you into extinction. Until next time, keep your shields up, and your jokes better. The broadcast went viral across the galaxy. Alien systems that once bellowed with battle orders now buzzed with laughter, memes, and viral human content. The Empire's mighty image was shattered, replaced by a lasting legacy of cosmic embarrassment. Humanity didn't just survive, it rewrote the rules of war. They proved that sometimes, the deadliest weapon isn't firepower, but chaos, confidence, and a perfectly timed punchline. And as the stars settled into a new order, one truth echoed through the void. When they stopped talking, we started laughing, and the galaxy never saw it coming.